What if an NFT held a secret? A key. The hunt begins this Thursday on DeOrganized.
Every post is a signal. Give it fuel. BoostX, the social value layer.
Let's go. Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal, Peace Love Music, with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our amazing friends at Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Tuesday, the 26th. I think I actually put the 25th in the post somewhere. My apologies. It's the 26th of August. Another month almost gone. The summer's almost over. It's crazy how fast things are going by. Feeling good about things personally. I know that there's a lot happening, but we're moving forward. You know, we take the good with the bad and we just keep moving forward in a positive trajectory as best we can. We take what we get, we turn it into what we can with it. We make the best experiences possible to have for ourselves and our sphere, our friends. And that's all it is. That's all it is. We find out what's going on, we experience, and we grow. And that's life. Friendly, I got this thing with Restream. It shows like only a couple of people viewing, but I know when I go over to X, I got a ton of people watching here. I think about 100 of you guys tuned in already. So just do me a favor, shout out in the live chat. I see Sam, good morning, brother. And Biggie STX, what's up? What's up? Good morning, guys. Say hi in the live chat. Share out the live stream. It helps us tremendously. If you like what we're doing, when you share it out, it gets to more people. It helps us get some exposure. It helps them get exposure to the projects we're supporting. It creates this value loop. We provide good information. They come out. Our sphere that we're covering gets more attention. They get some growth. Users get opportunities to try new things that might add value to their lives. And we can grow and reach a bigger audience, which means we can keep doing this. If you like what we're doing, share out the live stream. It helps us tremendously. Plus, it gives you Chad status. If you share out the live stream, Chad share out the live stream. Friendly reminder, guys, this is a news show. Also, give us a follow. Give us a follow. Turn on notifications. Share out the live stream. We're trying to support everybody. There's so many projects building on Bitcoin in our amazingly robust ecosystem on Stacks, and we're trying to help support all of the builders, all of the projects, all of the protocols. There's a lot here going on. Friendly reminder, this is a news show. We are providing news and information, sometimes some education, hopefully some entertainment, but never financial advice. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. It's very important that you follow that. But that being said, the numbers this morning, hold on, I gotta get my stuff. Your old pal's a little tired, guys. It's only Tuesday. Cranked all weekend. And I love what we're doing, by the way. I'm not tired like I'm fed up. I'm just tired like I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot, you know? And we all are. We all are. I think it also, like, we have this just tremendous bombardment of information at us at all times. We have multiple devices constantly throwing information at us to the point where, like, somebody will tell me they sent me a message and I'll go to my phone to try to respond, and I'll be trapped in my phone for an hour just following up with all the notifications I got on there on stuff, and it's like impossible. You know, we have this impossibly growing amount of information being thrown at us. So hopefully these tools can start aggregating some of it for us and buy us up some more free time. Because that's really what we all are all after, is enough stored energy in the form of money to buy time instead of having to sell our time. Turn these notifications off. Ugh, I had it on vibrate. That'll drive me crazy for the next 2 hours while we're streaming. All right, the numbers in this morning, guys. Bitcoin coming in at 110,535. It did dip below 110 yesterday, and that had everyone panicking. 110 is a psychological number. It's hard to tell where it's going right now. It's definitely in a down trend. We'll see how the week shakes out. It is only Tuesday, but we definitely are in what seems to be a downtrend right now. Ethereum's still looking strong at 4,500 bucks, up 2% in the last hour, still down 2.5% on the day. And our beloved Stacks coming in at still just about where it was yesterday, down just over 0.5%, up 2.5% in the last hour to 64.15. I think it was 64.5 yesterday. I actually did move up to number 72. I believe it was 73 yesterday. Fear and Greed Index, now that's rocking way down. We're at almost the very edge of neutral at 43. It was at 50 yesterday. So the market's showing fear. I'm not saying we're bottoming, but when you're trading, a good practice is to kind of buy when the market's fearful, sell when the market is greedy. It's the opposite of what it looks like. That's usually the way to go, though. We're not fearful, by the way. We're still in that neutral range. So it's hard to tell exactly where things are going to go right now. When you stack your stacks, you earn native Bitcoin rewards. Stacks is tied directly to the Bitcoin blockchain as a layer 2 with proof of transfer functionality that keeps all of the Stacks transactions recorded immutably on the Bitcoin blockchain forever. All of Stacks transactions end up on Bitcoin. Stacks is a Bitcoin layer 2 that adds functionality to Bitcoin. They have fast, low-fee transactions, proof of transfer security that gives you native Bitcoin rewards. By securing the network, you can actually earn Bitcoin directly. And there's a bunch of different tools and a very, very robust Bitcoin-centric DeFi ecosystem on Stacks. Stacks is where it's at. And if you're going to do your own research on Stacks, you should absolutely head over to STX Tools. The top gainers today, hold on, let me switch this up. I don't like looking at the losers, but top gainers today are Velar, Miami Coin, and ABTC. You got blocks up there, Welsh, Wrap Nothing, UAP. Lots of gainers on Stacks today. We did bottom out around 61 cents yesterday. And stxtools.io is a great place to go to do research on tokens on Stacks. You know, you want to look at Velar, see what it's doing. You got the chart, can interact with it, you can see where it's going, change settings and all of that. Just like a normal, it's got all the tools you need. So, and you can do the research, see where it's been, see what's going on, check the time. Oh, I want to look at the daily chart. Well, that looks rough, but maybe there's a bottom here. Seems to be smoothing out along this line. You might want to take a look. Prices are turning up over on Velar, and you can do that at stxtools.io. One of the greatest assets to the Stacks ecosystem isn't actually a meme token. It's not the Stacks token. Well, these are all good products, by the way. But one of the best products on Stacks right now is the Hermetica USDH Bitcoin-backed stablecoin. You can actually earn 14% on your USDH by stacking it over at Hermetica.fi. And that's a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin that earns interest. And it's on both Layer 1 and Layer 2 on Stacks with Hermetica. And I think they're expanding to other ecosystems too soon. Really cool stuff happening at Hermetica. And if you are interested in earning yield on your stacks, you can engage in regular staking. We have native staking over at StackingDAO, where you can earn up to 9% on your 9% APY in native staking. So you deposit your STX and you earn every roughly 2 weeks during the cycle, you earn Bitcoin reward at the APY. The APY is variable. And you can also choose to engage in liquid stacking with STX, where you get auto compounding yields in STX. You hold STX, it appreciates in value against the STX based on the APY. Today's APY is 8.7%. And you can then deploy that STX into further DeFi opportunities on stacks. Or you can actually get your rewards in SBTC, 8.45% with STX BTC product. You hold the STX BTC. Less options in the marketplace for deploying that into DeFi right now, but I'm sure there's more to come. And that's all happening at StackingDAO. We want to take a look at what's going on in the news. I gotta get my news thread up. I make too many posts. I know. You don't have to tell me. What's going on in the news today? I'm actually going to put the news post underneath the live stream so you guys can join in. You can read along. You can catch up on what's going on. Whatever, if it works for you. But here is the news thread for today. In the news. Oh my gosh. You know what I didn't do? Hold on a minute. Let me, All right. Here we go. Let's see. Market jitters. What is that? I just want to make sure I'm in the right one here. Let's get that over there. Get that over there. Yeah. All right. Market jitters. Markets were thrown into turmoil after President Donald Trump moved to oust Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, raising alarms over the central bank's independence. Investors quickly recalibrated, with Treasury yields diverging, short-term yields climbing while long-term yields fell off. Traders boosted the probability of a September rate cut to roughly 83%, reflecting the heightened uncertainty. Equities stumbled and bonds weakened as fears of political interference in monetary policy spread from the U.S. across global markets, underscoring fragile investor confidence. What I don't understand is why, when they're obviously telegraphing that they are going to cut rates, that the market gets nervous. And like in July, when it was obvious to me that they were not going to cut rates, it was clear. The market's ripped. It doesn't make sense. Like, the psychology of investors is weird. It's very weird. I don't know why things go this way. I wish I could understand it better, but it is what it is. The truth of it is, you have to go slow, invest in what you have conviction on, take profits when you get the opportunity to do so, and don't worry about it otherwise. The dollar fell, and dollar slides, gold climbs as Fed tensions rise. The dollar weakened and long-term U.S. Treasury yields declined after Trump escalated his attacks on the Fed, stoking fears of politicized monetary policy. Investors sought safety in gold, which gained while equity futures turned negative across Asia and Europe. The market moves reflected anxiety about the Fed's ability to maintain independence and credibility amid political upheaval. Analysts noted that foreign exchange volatility increased significantly, and the ripple effects reinforced broader global instability, already weighing on investor sentiment this week. SBI and Chainlink push Asia crypto infrastructure. Japan's SBI Group and Chainlink announced a strategic partnership to expand institutional blockchain adoption across Asia Pacific. Keep an eye on Chainlink, guys, by the way. Do some research on Chainlink. Get to know it. might be worth a look. The collaboration will focus on tokenizing real-world assets such as real estate and bonds, and on enabling compliant, secure cross-chain transfers using Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP. An SBI survey revealed that 76% of regional financial institutions plan to invest in tokenized securities, making the lack of robust infrastructure a major bottleneck. The partnership is expected to accelerate market readiness for institutional digital asset production. UK retailers downgraded, French turmoil drags Europe. UK retail stocks slid sharply after Deutsche Bank cut ratings on major retailers, citing weakening consumer demand and mounting cost pressures. Shares of supermarkets, clothing retailers, and hospitality chains fell, compounding wider market unease. Simultaneously, French markets were rattled as Prime Minister Bayrou faced a looming confidence vote, sparking fresh political instability. The CAC 40 led European indices lower, with investor confidence deteriorating further. Together, the UK downgrades and French uncertainty underscores Europe's fragile economic recovery and fueled broader equity market losses. I just don't know what people do with their money when they actually do get fearful. They're just turning it into dollars and watching it erode in value over time anyway. Where does that eventually go? It's going to feed back. So I would be more inclined to hold through the turmoil. Over time, it's usually the best bet. You never know, and not financial advice, like I say, but you never know exactly how it's going to go. The EU accelerates digital euro rollout. The European Union is fast-tracking its digital euro project following the United States' adoption of sweeping stablecoin legislation, which regulates a $288 billion market. Concerned about falling behind in monetary innovation, EU officials are reassessing the digital euro's technical design. Whereas earlier proposals leaned on private or permissioned systems, regulators are now evaluating whether to use public blockchains such as Ethereum or Solana to enhance competitiveness and transparency. The push underscores Europe's urgency to preserve sovereignty and relevance in the global digital finance race. $940 million in liquidations as BTC dips below 110K. As Bitcoin fell under 110K, leveraged traders were hit hard with nearly $1 billion in liquidations. Across crypto derivatives markets. The sharp move wiped out thousands of traders, particularly those holding leveraged long positions. Analysts were warned that the event highlights the fragility of the current market structure, with high funding rates and crowded trades amplifying volatility. The wave of liquidations follows weeks of heightened speculative activity, underscoring the risks of aggressive positioning during uncertain macroeconomic conditions. The sell-off reinforced nervous sentiment across the crypto sector. Germany's optimism gap versus looming pension issues. Business confidence in Germany has risen unexpectedly despite weak economic fundamentals, creating what analysts are calling an optimism gap. While companies report improved outlook, the nation faces deep structural challenges. Demographic decline is fueling a looming pension crisis, and economists are urging policymakers to expand private savings programs. Proposals include state-subsidized retirement plans and creation of ETF-based savings vehicles for children. The tension between upbeat sentiment and long-term fiscal stress highlights one of Europe's most significant economic risks in the decade ahead. Crazy stuff. Their economy is starting to boom because they're able to apply automation to a larger level, but they're not outpacing their population growth and productivity to the point of sustaining their current pension system. It's probably a problem that's going to be experienced globally. Really needs to be addressed soon. We talked about the numbers for the day. ETF flows Bitcoin spot ETF saw 219.1 million net inflows yesterday, ending a 6-day outflow streak. Fidelity's FBTC led with 65.6 million. Ethereum spot ETFs followed, pulled in a 443.9 million net inflows, led by BlackRock's ETH with 314.9 million. So yesterday, inflows coming back with some force. We got some serious coming back from that. Guys, if you're not participating in Zero Authority bounties, you need to get over to zeroauthoritydao.com/bounty. It's not bounties, it's bounty. I get the wrong link there. Sorry, guys. There's bounties for Shark with the meme contest, Bitcoin Asia X Nasty memes, 20 USDH winners, 200 USDH up for grabs for that one. Runes Guide with Bitflow, 2,000 Rue prize up for grabs. Rue Defenders meme, two times, so that's 3,000 Rue up for the Rue Defenders meme. Huge shout out to Jack Binswitz, really excited about what's coming with Rue Defenders on the way. And Leo, there's more on there. Head over to zeroauthority.com, click on the bounty tab, and get in. Guys, Skullcoin is coming. The hunt begins this Thursday. That's in 2 days. Join us on the live stream Thursday morning. We're going to launch the new on-chain game, the seed phrase treasure hunt game. There are 10 Bitcoin wallets out there, and you're going to have an opportunity to find them with the seed phrase and take the prizes out of them. Join your friends. Tune in Thursday. It costs 1 STX to mint 1 NFT. Each NFT has a word in the seed phrase. So 24 words per wallet, 10 wallets. That means 240 seed phrase NFTs. Every NFT has a phrase. And if you get a bunch from the same wallet, you want to find other people that have some of those and make friends and start working as a team and share the loot. Go find the treasure. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we have the Stacks DeGrants Cohort 3 community meeting. Very important. This is where, if you're interested in being part of the project, if you're a project looking for funding, come out. You'll get some details onto what that's going to look like. We're still going to sort it out as a community. This is very much a community project. So the people that show up tomorrow that request the mic and come up on stage, they will have an opportunity to input and influence what's coming out of DeGrants Cohort 3. So join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's a very important meeting. Those who come and show up and participate are going to have the most influence on how things go. So join us. StackingDAO, we talked about StackingDAO. We talked about STX tools. I don't have my... Guys, go use Bitflow. I'm going to talk about them in a minute. STX tools we talked about. Guys, if you don't have a BNS name, go get a BNS at BNS.ONE. BoostX is amplifying the entire Stacks ecosystem. If you're not using BoostX, you need to check them out. The social value layer is happening on BoostX. And in the Stacks ecosystem today, on the calendar, Great Whatever Morning Space with Binta. We talked with 300. Guys, if you don't know, 300 got hacked. He lost his email, access to one of his emails, to a number of his devices, and some of his, I guess whoever hacked him went over to his YouTube channel and deleted all of his content from his Bri360 account, so all of his old music. And we really feel bad for the guy. He's a great asset in the community, and we talked a little bit about that. And the thing is that he's just moving forward positive. He's taking a positive approach, and huge shout out to the dude. But personally, I really think that anyone that would do something like that is just the scum of the earth. Why you would attack somebody that's just putting out and supporting and doing good work all the time. It just we still have a lot of room to grow as a human race, apparently. We have this show every day at 8:30, Monday through Friday. 9:30 a.m., we have the Game Master coming playing Find to Earn rounds with us. Sponsored by RuCoin, LeoCoin, Bitcoin Pepe, Flat Earth, STX AI, Bob on Stacks, Droid, and am I missing somebody besides maybe UAP comes out once a week? We have a sighting from an unidentified aerial phenomenon. I think I got all of them. If I missed your token, I apologize. We have so many contributors right now. And if you guys have a token and you're looking to get on Find to Earn, we're always looking to do more rounds for our ecosystem. So let us know. Let the game master know. Let me know. We'll get you on there. At 10 a.m. is the Stacks DeFi show with StackingDAO. Always a great time with all the updates on what's happening in all of the DeFi projects on Stacks. At 3 p.m. is Art on Stacks with Reese and 300 and GP. At 4 p.m. is the Hermetica Hangout with Dave and Jack B. At 5:30 p.m., all things crypto with Dave and Crypto Landy. And at 7 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday, you should round out your day. I'm sorry, it's not Monday through Friday during football season. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You have DeOrganized Nightly with GPSC. So there's no show tonight, and I forgot what day it was. But it's still the best way to round out your day if GP is available to do a show. And man, we got to get a clone of GP, don't we? We really need to get this guy more access. Like we can't get him. We can't get enough. There's not enough GP to go around. Is really what it boils down to. Real quick, before I bring on our amazing panel, we have all the friends with us today waiting to come on and chat. Let me just give a shout out to StackingDAO and BitFlow. StackingDAO is the leading liquid staking platform for the Stacks network. StackingDAO is changing the game by letting users earn up to 10% APY on their STX while keeping their assets liquid. Unlike traditional staking, their unique design means no minimums, and users start earning rewards immediately, so there are zero switching costs when moving from other stacking pools. Plus, you've got options. Choose to get your rewards in STX or SBTC. Whatever fits your strategy. Want to start earning yields today? Head over to StackingDAO.com and jump in. StackingDAO is where liquidity meets opportunity. BitFlow is the top DEX on Stacks, letting you trade native BTC, STX, SBTC, runes, and more, all in one place by aggregating the best prices on Alex, Arcadico, and Valar. Recently, BitFlow rolled out Flex Pools, launching with STX to support liquid staking assets, offering flexible deposits, smarter rewards, and deeper liquidity. And I will bring on our friends. Good morning. There he is. I was like, go to Jack. Like the producer.
I was like, wait a minute.
Not the Jack.
Good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. Hope that you guys are having a great start to your day.
Good morning, Jack. Legends of Stacks Legends in the house. How you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. Just happy to be here with my boys, you know?
Right on.
Same. Dude, Jack, I love you, dude.
Oh,
we got Hunter now.
Hunt is looking all lit up today.
Let's go. All the
Yo,
guys
what's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Loud and clear.
bro.
Awesome. You know, it's good to be here with the OGs. We have Jack, we have GP, we have Peace. Hey, GP, can you remove your cap like this?
Oh, you want to see? Let's
go.
Let's go. I got to get a little sun on that thing, though, man.
No, I
Get a little sun on it.
Yeah.
He looks a little
We got
bit.
Mel in the building.
I'm a big old, like, I used to love the G.I. Joe stuff. I had all of the G.I. Joe collection, and
Destro?
I was gonna say Mindbender. GP's got
Mindbender, okay.
Mindbender vibes going on.
Dr.
Like,
It's
Xavier.
I don't know,
looking like
dude.
the
I
one
think,
punch.
like, I think if you wanted to launch a GP villain arc, this is the look that you launch that arc with.
One Punch Man.
Stroke
He's
your
like
mustache.
Saitama.
Oh man, we gotta get a
Saitama
little bit more
GP.
creative on these roads. I'm talking about I was waiting for something like huge, like, and I get Dr. Xavier, Mr. Clean. I was like so disappointed. I was like, I thought we were more creative than this guy.
Good morning, Melanie. How are you? I wasn't
Good, thanks.
expecting all of that when I brought you on the screen.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know.
man,
I
good
should have waited while you.
How you doing today?
Good morning, bro.
Yeah, good.
All right, we got some chads in the chat too. The market is going crazy. Valora says, I think the market's just kind of doing what it does. Good morning, Target. And Chip saying, Hunter looking fresh and clean on the stream. Yeah, man, I was not ready for that. You do look, you're looking sharp.
Fly as a bird.
Yeah, looking
Thank
good.
you so
looking
much,
good.
jeez.
You let me tell you guys something. You all, everyone watching this has a moral imperative, effective now. I'm putting this on you and your karma. Effective now to tell people to get out of Bitcoin treasury companies and get into self-custody or stacks or something like it, because we've gone crazy in this country. We're federalizing parts of private companies. Guys, do you not see like the destruction of the dollar is nigh? And now you're talking about federalizing private companies. Like the government's going to take your Bitcoin. It's going to take your Bitcoin on whether it's in centralized exchanges, whether it's tied up in some bullshit like strategy. That's coming. Like you can see it from a mile away. Self custody now. Like this is like no joke.
If
dude.
you don't self custody and it happens, what are you going to do about it?
Right. It's going to be like what they did with gold in this country, all over again.
Be just like what they did with gold.
Yeah, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, here's your digital dollar that's just as good as your Bitcoin." How did that work out for us with the dollars we have now instead of the gold-backed dollars we used to have? Right? Like, how did that work for us?
Well, God, if you still had, like, if your family still held gold, if your family turned over gold back in the 30s, right, when they confiscated all the gold.
DR did it, right?
Yeah, I think it was in the 30s when they confiscated all the gold. If you still had that gold, it'd be worth way like Bitcoin X's, built Bitcoin type multiples, like 1,000x multiples of what it was when they got the dollars. But you know what those dollars are worth? Way less.
Right.
So
12%.
it's never going to be a good deal. It's never going to be a good deal.
Do you think Michael Saylor gets liquidated? This is something that I would.
Well, we're about to see, right? Because we all know that Bitcoin goes up and down. If you go on a timeline right now and you see people who top blasted Bitcoin and they're like, "Oh my God, this sucks! Like I'm losing money. What am I going to do?" Right? So, like, what do you think happens with the treasury companies? I don't know. I just know that like.
Saylor is just going to keep buying. We know what's going to happen because he's been doing this for 2 cycles.
Right.
Saylor will just keep buying, but he's going to be the highest hold. He's going to be the number one holder of Bit. He's already the number one holder, isn't he?
I'm not sure.
No, so I mean Satoshi still is, right? And then no, Satoshi's got Saylor beat. I think Saylor owns. I think I think BlackRock owns 6%. Like BlackRock owns a lot.
Yeah.
Well, but technically, what BlackRock owns is
right.
Not
Guess
all.
what?
It's under management.
Own all of it.
What Saylor owns is actually it belongs to strategy.
Like, all of these people who called who accused Trump of being a fascist. Like, this is some fascist shit for real.
They were right.
Yeah.
You're right here, guys.
Fascist shit for real. And it's not going to end well. So self-custody your Bitcoin. What happened to your Bitcoin? Fuck, I don't know, man. I lost it. Get bent. Lost my seed phrase. Fuck off. Like.
So who owns the most Bitcoin besides Satoshi? So top individual Bitcoin whales, we've got Satoshi, of course, at the top. The Winklevoss twins.
What? The
70,000.
Winklevoss actually have the most Bitcoin?
Yep. Tim Draper, 29,500 BTC, and Michael Saylor coming in at 17,732 BTC. Tim Draper is a backer of Zest Protocol, right? So
backer of Stacks.
Yeah, backer of Stacks. Period. Stacks pool. So
when you see the smart money guys, like the smart money guys that are in the Stacks, you know why they're into it. There's a lot of smart money in Stacks. Forget about retail. I'm talking about like guys who've been backing it since day one. Do you know why they back Stacks? Because of the decentralization. Because you don't need permission. Because there is no centralized authority that's going to be able to take your shit from you unlawfully or under the color of immoral law. Like, that's why they back Stacks. And like that's what I'm saying. I wasn't saying it in jest. That's why we have to like. People think, oh, Bitcoin treasury companies. It's the same psychology, guys. It's like if I do this, I can have more money and I can have more Bitcoin. Well, it's the same thing. It's the same play with stacks. It's the same psychology at play, except this is actual like something that helps Bitcoin, something that works with Bitcoin, something that helps Bitcoin become more used. Paper Bitcoin is horseshit. This is actually like really building out a decentralized economy. So we really have to embrace that and make sure we're doing a good job of telling people, because I don't like where things are going. Like, I don't care if the dollar fails. I don't care if the Fed becomes a footnote in history. Like, that's shit. Like, don't threaten me with a good time. But by the same token, like, don't take all your wealth and make it easy for someone to grab, right? Like, be smart. You have decentralized technology. This is unconfiscatable money. Do it right.
Yeah, for real.
I just not Googled, I went on ChatGPT and I just asked them to give me the lowdown on the top holders, just to check.
Is it different?
Yeah, although Michael Saylor might own it, there's also corporate holdings. So those are the top individual holders. But through MicroStrategy, he owns, I think let me see how much it says, 632,457 Bitcoin. So he's got 632, and then the United States government owns 198,000 Bitcoin. That
they stole. It's confiscated Bitcoin.
And then Binance has 248,000 Bitcoin. So I mean, that's the problem. It's this might been my sort of thesis for a long time. Is it's centralizing Bitcoin. Because the control is shifting from the people to the corporations and the governments.
Market manipulation haters.
Well, that's the thing. They'll be able to. So that's, once again, it's centralized, because it's going to have, even though the ideology is decentralized. Although I've just I finished it, but I rushed onto the show before I pressed send. I've just finished an article that explores the idea that decentralization is the be all and end all of crypto, and how it's becoming, and just kind of looking at Satoshi Nakamoto and how the white paper has become almost like a scripture, and people blindly follow this idea of decentralization and of, the white paper, when in fact Satoshi never designed a new way of governance or a new way of running economies. He established a peer-to-peer payment system. That was kind of predominantly what the white paper was. So I'm just exploring at the moment the idea that decentralization, yes, it has its place, but it is not, it's this buzzword that people throw around that I think everyone's going to get bored of eventually,
Well,
because if you just say decentralization and you don't actually have a conversation about what that looks like or what you're trying to apply it to, then it's just a buzzword and it's not actually anything. It's like saying liberal or conservative.
And decentralization in itself is not a good thing. Bitcoin wasn't decentralized when it first, because there were limited nodes. It was a bunch of people that were really conversing in a chat room with this.
It was designed to be decentralized.
Yeah, like anything. I mean, people design loads of things and say, that is key. It is key to say that you need to lay out very clearly in your roadmap what your idea of decentralization is. But I think the idea of decentralization and the almost blackmail, the way it is. If you even, where the article eventually leads is this idea of block stack and stacks, and how for so many years people had this, there was this trash talk about stacks because it wasn't decentralized. But do people even know what that means when they talk about it? I think 90% or 95% of people don't even know what decentralized governance looks like and why you would even have it, Anyway, so that's what it's going to come out in the next, once I've finished here in an hour.
Nice. Looking forward to it. I love the topic, by the way, because it really is important. It's like, why decentralization? Well, because when you decentralize, really it should be applied to our governance model. Right now, we have a very centralized governance model. A few hundred years ago, humanity, or at least in the history we're told, and I believe a lot of it, humanity kind of rose up against the ruling establishment. There was centralized ruling establishments, individuals and communities rose up against it and took some of that political power back. And we created processes that were designed to actually distribute political power. That's what the republic was designed for. And the separation of powers was designed to distribute or decentralize power because people recognized what the problems are about centralized power and what happens out of that. It's a response to a problem. That's why we promote decentralization, because centralization has worse problems. But we still need to work
Again,
out.
it's where it's applied.
Right.
The structure, the idea of centralization isn't bad. It's how it has been, like with anything. You can take anything and sully it. So I don't believe, I think people love a buzzword and they love this kind of like, okay, centralization sucks. Now we must be decentralized, But anyway, yeah,
Well, that's another thing. Our society in general is focused to see things as from a dichotomic view, meaning that things, if centralization is the problem, then decentralization is the solution, and then so we all have to decentralize everything. But it's really about finding a balance. It's not, you got to have some kind of centralization of processes or nothing happens.
It needs to be voluntary.
Everything has to start centralized. It literally, if you don't have a centralized starting point, you are not connected. You have to have, like, say the six of us have a conversation and we go like, okay, we want to start a blockchain. And then we're like, okay, is he you?
One of the glitches of Restream is that anytime someone changes their avatar, it applies to everybody's avatar in the studio. That's why sometimes we're Mel. It just happens.
Yeah. So I forgot what else. I lost my train of thought.
The world operates on buzzwords, right? Like that's not going to change anytime soon. And you're right. A lot of people will parrot shit and have no idea what it actually means. But that doesn't mean that they can't learn. And that's, one of the things we have in this ecosystem. We have a lot of experienced crypto participants relative to other ecosystems. And like if you go to like somewhere like Pump Fund, for instance, like, dude, there's straight up newbies there. Like straight up newbies who don't know shit about shit. Like, we need to be focused on bringing content and education and messaging to people who are already crypto curious and becoming crypto native and helping them understand that so they don't just get caught up in buzzword structure anyway. Because like some of your most vehement Bitcoin maxis, don't know shit about Bitcoin in reality. They're just like, you have some that are very smart. You've got guys who've been there from the beginning. You have very principled, but a lot of them are just posers. They're just assholes who need an identity and they don't understand things. And that's okay. Yeah. But like,
and you find the people, sorry, Jack, but I just want to mention it here. You'll find the people who use the most buzzwords, whatever the common trend buzzword is, and they throw that around, are generally people that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. No,
that's so evident in the workplace. If you talk to your colleagues and they say, yeah, we need to centralize and get our things together, all the buzzwords of the workplace or the words that are being used most often to convey something is because they don't know shit. So you're working with stupid people.
That's right. So they just basically hear somebody speak some sort of narrative and then they're like, okay, I'm going to repeat that. And that's how these sort of bizarre things happen, where people are now going like, centralization shit. We all have to that's what I was saying. Imagine us wanting to start a blockchain, and then we all just went and thought, okay, let's be decentralized, which means none of it, we can't like set up any structures. We wouldn't get anywhere.
Well, no, but like Bitcoin was made to be decentralized. It was made to decentralize over time, if it in fact worked. And any project that you want to make like that, it can start that way, and it will start that way. But I see the point you're making. But like, to be able to separate money from state, like that's a real thing. That's important, and you can only do that with decentralization. Like the way that the money works, predominantly in the world is due to the policy of central bankers and these giant banks like the IMF, and here in this country we have the Federal Reserve. That's centralized, and it's working hand in hand with government to like create monetary policy and the economy, and it becomes like a managed economy and not actually like a free market. And nobody on this call has been alive that's alive right now has ever experienced a true free market. And so, if you look at how Bitcoin is set up and how it runs, it can actually create that, but it has to be used. It can't just be stored. And that's what's been driving me nuts about the digital gold number go up, just sit on Bitcoin narrative, is because if you do just get it to where it's not actually useful or being used, well, then you've lost the original value proposition. You've lost the original vision, and you can parrot the buzzwords like decentralized. And meanwhile, it's not actually, living up to its original design or purpose or anything.
Nobody's achieving. That's the point, is nobody is actually achieving anything. Everyone's running around talking, saying words, but not actually achieving anything.
But the best possible example we have in today's ecosystems is that utility projects don't grow as much as meme projects. So the things that actually drive utility revenue or anything that has to do with real money.
That's not necessarily true, Orange. Look at Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's probably
but that's an example of if you have a broad range, it's the opposite, or one end of the spectrum. If you look at a lot of projects in the Ethereum ecosystem, they are valued far below what, and they are solving real problems with real revenue. And because they don't have the playbook, or even if they have the playbook that is being used by meme coins, they don't grow because people don't understand what utility really is and how it affects them.
And that's the thing. I wrote an article about as well called Memism, something about memism, and how so much of what we are building is centered around essentially a joke. Like, not that I'm breaking it down to like, one brick in a wall, which isn't real. I shouldn't generalize to that point. But, if you look at, go on to Zero Authority and look at what all the bounties are, make a meme, it's like meme coins, not that I'm knocking meme coins. I love it. I mean, I love the fun of it. I'm invested in it. I love it so much. I love memes. In fact, I think memes are going to become part of the fine art of the future. But at the same time, a big part of this, like you say, real world problems are actually not being solved.
Well, and that's just part of the adoption curve, because I'll argue this with you. The way that this works in this space is that liquidity drives innovation, right? So again, let's go to Pump Fund. Pump Fund, like, all about memes, right? And this whole, like, taking this idea of anyone can launch a token, and it made billions of dollars, right? Just billions and billions and billions of dollars that these people have made. And now they've built out an entire crypto streaming platform. So like that people can say, well, memes are useless, except, well, no, you've just had two innovations in this space occur because they found, yes, people like to take $1, put it in crypto, and try to make it two. And now you've got this enormous platform that's now trying to overtake streaming, which streaming is trying to become the next YouTube. Like, you can't do that without liquidity. And, you can't always just tell a story that everyone just understands right away. Like, you have to, you have to look at the big picture. And the big picture is this is all still new. And people are coming in here. And yeah, a lot of the liquidity follows the degens. And just like we're sitting here in Stacks where we have all these DeFi protocols, none of that shit would exist if it wasn't for the same degens who pushed DeFi in the first place. And where you had people who were too scared to touch crypto at all, or too scared to move it off of things like Coinbase or Binance, you had degens being like, no, I'm going to use Uniswap, and I'm going to go stake this shit in Aave, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to borrow this money, and I'm going to leverage this, and I'm going to do this, and now we have a whole DeFi thing. You're seeing that happen. So people, when you're just like, oh, well, memes are stupid, and we're taking away from utility, you're missing the whole fucking picture. Like, you're missing.
No one's saying memes are stupid. I mean, I've written an article saying they're fine art.
Nobody's saying so memes are for communicating messaging, right? But they don't actually solve problems on their own. They just stir the conversation.
I just want to say to you, Jack, on that note, is that if you imagine this, okay, right now, what happens is, okay, we're building DeFi protocols and we've got meme tokens and memes all over Twitter. Okay, you can go to Zero Authority and have a look. You're going to have, nobody's asking anybody to do anything but make a meme, pretty much 90% of the things. If we all came together and we said, because right now what's happening, even if you go and look at ordinals or look at any NFT project or any DeFi project,
I can tell you exactly.
We're all swapping. Hang on, we're all swapping money. Okay, so just let me finish. I've got one thing to say, and then I won't say anything more. So you've got all these people who actually don't have so much money, all like kind of like trying to turn their, like you said, $1 into $2. If everybody came together and said, hey, hang on, let's build something that, because DeFi hasn't yet onboarded the masses. Imagine everybody came together and said, hang on, let's change the world with our money that we've got. And let's build something that is going to change the world and that's going to engage people, the real people. Because yes, degens love meme coins. I love meme. I love the fun of it. I love the art of it. I
need y'all to understand something. First thing, if I can make anyone understand this, I'll be a happy man. And first of all, nothing I said is directed at you specifically, Mel. I'm speaking in generalizations. The meme, when I say meme, DeFi isn't memes, right?
Yeah.
DeFi is not memes, but like DeFi summer that created all the DeFi primitives we have now, that's the same energy that you see in memes. So like that energy, call it meme energy, call it degen energy, call it whatever you want. That's what we're speaking of. I'm speaking of, just because it was memes this cycle and it was DeFi last cycle, it's the same energy pushing that. It's the same desires. It just landed on memes. So like, while memes will always exist in all of these things, like next go around, that same energy could be put into something else, right? And so when this is happening, you throw 1,000 things at a wall and 2 or 3 of them stick, and that becomes your innovation building block for the next thing. If I can just get people to understand that, like, it's just that simple. You have to harness that power. And to your point about Zero Authority DAO in the bounties, that's very simple. All these bounties are being paid in memes because that's like the most current. That's what we have. That's
right. And it's easy. It's the low-hanging fruit for getting the project to function. It's easy to get people to participate because it's a low barrier to entry for the market to actually participate in the bounties. But over time, bounties is going to transition to gigs for real work,
right?
And that kind of thing. It's just getting there. Let's actually. I want to be. We're 3 minutes into the Find to Earn segment, but Let me real quick. I'm gonna play a word from our sponsor. We can still have this conversation in between the game rounds. By the way, we can still. I want to keep talking about this. Just let me get into the game. The game master is here, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. And if you're here to play Find to Earn, you better share out the live stream because that's rule number one. We'll be back in a minute after a word from our sponsor.